basically what we have here. We have this volumetric cloud element that's animated, and we also have the volumetric light. But in this case, we're going to turn off the fog, and we're only going to focus on the volume cloud. So if we go down to the volume settings, here's where we can adjust how that looks. Now it's all interactive, so we can play around with the light settings. We can add additional lights, so maybe like a blue point light. Put this right into the middle of the scene, and it also works with the light settings. So things like fall off, we can really get some good results. So now, how do we actually integrate this with our render? So what I'll do is just get rid of that camera, go into Nebula 3D. We're going to go down to the occlusion. We're going to go to depth occlusion, and we're going to select our depth pass. Then all we have to do is set the max range to our render, 10,000, then hit OK. And now we actually can see our volume in our scene. We can move it around. We can scale it up. Now we can actually play around with some of the lights. So maybe we'll move this light back, turn the brightness down just a bit. There's another nice setting inside of the volume for playing around with the shading. So in this case, there's a little bit of ambient light. So if we turn up the emissive, we can create that nice GI look. Here we'll turn this light down a bit and maybe move the point light right about here. Now, the other cool thing is that we can add some nodes to our light editor. So we have our point light. We can add, say, like a flicker node, connect that, maybe turn it up to like 25, and let's take a look. All right, so this is the basic idea on how to use the plugin. There's a lot of settings for optimizing and refining the mattes and controlling how the occlusion works, and it really is just a lot of fun to play around with real volumetrics in your scene and have it actually interact and occlude with what you're working on. So there's another kind of interesting example where, let's say you want to have some headlights, have some volumetric light. So in this case, I've got a couple of lights, and you can see that they're tied to the chassis here. So what I can do is add a new solid, add Nebula 3D, and immediately we get this volumetric light effect. But if we go into the atmospheric fog settings, we can turn up things like the noise, increase the amount, and now we actually get real volumetrics. Now, if we were to go into the noise settings, we could play around with this map and actually get some really great results. Maybe turn up the turbulence here, and then maybe go to the settings and turn up the sample quality. Now, it's obviously moving really fast, but if we make the noise pretty large and maybe turn on the motion blur for the layer, you can get some pretty good results. Now, this is working with spotlights, but we can also change the shape of the spotlights. So if we go into the light editor, we can turn the size of the light up. And that way it just has a little bit larger base, and it doesn't look like it's coming out of a single point. Now, I guess one more fun thing we could do is we could add some light rays using the projection node. And this is just a nice look. Maybe you've got, let's see. I don't know, if you've got two high-powered projectors on your truck, you're driving around. It's like a drive-by movie theater. I don't know. Anyway, we're really cooking up some cool things, and we're really excited about all the features that are inside of this plugin. And just for fun, here's a teaser video showing off some other cool stuff.